everybody, my name is Casey and today we're going to talk a little bit about how to multiply and divide with numbers, but today we're going to do it in a really fun way and use candy to make it a little easy and more exciting on ourselves. So we're just going to walk through some fun activities and games that you guys can do at home, and at the end I'm going to tell you guys some free online math games you can play any time of the day that are super fun. And let's get started. So first we're going to practice doing our multiplication. So to do this, I just used a blank piece of paper and we're going to do multiplication using a multiplication array. So what an array means is that you have columns which go down this way is a column. If you've ever seen columns on really big houses that stand big, tall, and straight, they're long, right? So this is a column. And then you have rows. So rows go this way. So think of a row of seats in your classroom, okay? So this is a row. So I have 3 practice problems here that we can use these arrays to try to help us learn how to do multiplication. So let's start with this one. So it asks you, what is 2 times 4? So I took the first number 2 and I made 2 columns, 1 and 2. And then I took the second number, which is 4, and I made 4 rows. So I added jelly beans going down until there were 4 rows. So all you have to do to figure out this math problem now, after you made your column and then you make a row, is just add up how many you have total. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 2 times 4 is 8. Or you can count this in any way you want, or you can make the rows first or the columns first, as long as you're just making the first number the row and the second number the column, and then just add them all together. So let's practice this again using a little bit of a bigger number. So our second problem is asking, what is 4 times 4? So first, I made my columns again. So I lined up 4 jelly beans at the top to make 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then with our second number, which is also 4 again, I made 4 rows going this way. So I added 1, 2, 3, and our first number is already up there, 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. So when you add all these together, that's the answer what 4 times 4 is. So let's do that. How many jelly beans do I have in this array? What is 4 times 4? Good, it's 16. So if you count these all up, 4 times 4 is equal to 16, because when you made a 4 by 4 array, you have 16 jelly beans all together. Now let's do a little bit of a simpler problem on this side. So it's asking you, what is 2 times 3? So again, let's make 2 columns, and then let's have 3 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 2 times 3 equals how many jelly beans you have in this array right here. So what is 2 times 3, guys? Good, the answer is 6. When you add up these jelly beans in this array, you have 6 jelly beans in this array. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 jelly beans. So those were some easy multiplication problems. You can always Google multiplication worksheets for whatever grade level you are currently in, and you can find some sample problems. And then just use a blank piece of paper at home to make these simple arrays to practice your multiplication by totaling up how many jelly beans or candy or even just a dot on a piece of paper. Whatever you have on hand will work just fine. So now we're going to move on to our second math skill for today, which is division. So for that, we're not going to need arrays. So I'm just going to take all these jelly beans all together, and I'm going to take away the arrays because we're not going to need those now. Okay. So now we have all these jelly beans, and we're just going to start off with some simple math problems. So our first problem is what is 4 divided by 2. So to do these division problems, what you're always going to want to do is take the bigger number, which in this case is 4. So I'm going to take out 4 jelly beans because that's the bigger number, and I'm going to put all the other ones away. Okay, so you start with the big number, which is 4. And it's asking you how many times can 2 go into 4? Or how many groups of 2 can you make? Okay, so to do this, one way is that you can start by making 2 groups. So what I would do is take 1 jelly bean away, and I took another jelly bean away from my top 4 to make 2 groups. And I have 2 left still. So then you could take another jelly bean and put it in each group. So every time you take a jelly bean away, you're putting 1 in each of the groups that you're making. So look what we have left. We have 2 groups, and in each group, there's 2 jelly beans in one group. So what that means is, when we have 4 jelly beans and we split it into 2 different groups, each group has 2. So the answer of 4 divided by 2 is 2, because that's how many jelly beans you have in each group. So let's run through that again this time. So we have 4 jelly beans to start with, and then we're saying we want them in 2 different groups, and we separate them equally in the groups, and in each group there's only 2 left. So 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Okay, let's try another problem. So this problem is asking what is 8 divided by 2? So again, we're gonna take our big number first. So here I have 8 jelly beans up top. And again, it's asking me to divide all 8 of these into 2 separate groups. So we're gonna start by pulling just jelly beans in these 2 groups down here, okay? And you wanna always make sure you're dividing them equally. So if I pull 1 into this group, that means you have to give 1 to the other group, okay? And just keep doing that until there's no jelly beans left. Okay, so I took my 8 that were up here, and I divided them into these 2 groups. So based on these 2 groups I have down here, can anybody tell me what is 8 divided by 2 then? Good, it's 4, because in each group I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 jelly beans. I took these 8 and I divided them equally into 2 groups, and each group has 4. So 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. Okay. And let's do a little bit of a bigger problem now. So this is asking you, what is 10 divided by 2? So first, we're gonna take our big number again and add all of those jelly beans in the beginning. So there is 6, and then we need 4 more. So 10. So now I have 10 jelly beans. And again, we're asking you to divide that into 2 groups. So we're just gonna make 2 groups, and we're gonna give a jelly bean to each group. Each group should each be getting a jelly bean. Okay, so now I have 2 groups. So now based on this, can anybody tell me what is the answer? What is 10 divided by 2? Good, the answer is 5, because in each group I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 jelly beans. So 10, when you split it in 2 groups, is equal to 5. In each group there's 5 jelly beans. All right, so those are some simple math problems for multiplication and division that you guys can all try to do at home. Again, you don't have to use jelly beans. You can use whatever you have on hand. And remember to just have fun with it. You can look up worksheets for simple math problems anywhere you want online based on your child's age group. And then we can use arrays for multiplication with your columns and rows. And for division, just start with the big number in the group and then divide those into smaller groups and see how many jelly beans you have left. That's your answer. And now, as promised, we're gonna talk about what is the free online games. So the first one I have written here is called Splash Learn. They have more than math on there, but they do have some pretty cool math games. And you can sort all of these out by whatever grade you're in or going to be going into. The second one is multiplication.com. This one has mostly math games on it. And then this one is the mathplayground.com. and this has mostly math games, but they're really fun. They're all free. They have multiple different little games on there with different animals. Some of them are just like Jenga. Whatever game that you think you might like, they probably have it. So I really recommend anybody, if you want to go on here and practice some of those math skills to keep those up when you guys start back school in August. All right, well, I hope you guys had fun and learned a little bit of math today, and I'll see you all next time.